Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gerald Jones, and this is another installment of Natural Kings. Natural Kings is an unedited, unscripted, freestyle version of discussions of things I've researched, things I've learned, things that I help make life a little better. You can reach me on Facebook at King Gerald Jones. You can reach me at Twitter at the same thing, King Gerald Jones. And you also can email me at naturalkings@yahoo.com. If you have any kind of questions, if you want to discuss anything that's been said, then these are the ways you can reach me. So let's get right into it. Today's segment is going to be regarding monogamy. It's going to be regarding deception, and it's going to be regarding cheating. Now, I've spoken on prior occasions about monogamy, so what I want to express and what I want to try to get the viewers or the listeners to understand is that monogamy is unnatural. And when I say unnatural, I don't mean that it can't be done, because for the most part, anything can be done. For example, you have nuns who don't have sex for maybe their whole lifetime or long periods of time. So I'm not saying that the monogamy can't occur, but I'm just saying it goes against nature and it goes against natural laws. So when they're having these, when they're in a relationship, when a woman and a man have a relationship and they're at odds, or they having fallouts, or they're not seeing eye to eye due to monogamous issues, due to quote unquote cheating issues, or due to issues that the woman or the man may not understand, it's only not right. It's only understandable that there's going to be problems because it goes against nature. It goes against the natural laws. It goes against universal laws. So, and to prove that, well, I'm going to first touch on the difference. I'm going to speak on a quick difference between a man and a woman. Now, I was studying the anatomy, and I was studying this brain encyclopedia, and also a psychology book. Inside of these books, it describes what is called the limbic system. Now, the limbic system is located in the prefrontal lobe of your brain, and it's responsible for emotions. It's responsible for the emotions in men, and it's responsible for the emotions in women. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is to actually show the difference, or show that first and foremost, we're not on the same plane or the thinking level or the thinking field, because women operate out of more emotion while men operate out of less emotion. And that's kind of, and it's only, and to be honest with you, it's only right because polarities, which is the opposites that attract, cause this natural attraction from woman to man. So it should only be natural and understandable that this is how it should go. But let me get back into the description of the limbic system. So the limbic system, as I said before, is located in the prefrontal lobe. Now, inside of the prefrontal lobe, the limbic system in a woman and the limbic system in a man is different, and they're responsible for the emotions. Now, the books, the psychology book, the brain encyclopedia, and the other book that I was reading, it said that the limbic system of a woman is larger and more active than the limbic system of a man, which is smaller. And that lets me know, well, if you can think logically, if this is true, if you believe this to be a fact, and that's why you have to research to find out if this is a fact or not. Even hands down, without this research, we also know women operate out of more emotion versus men, or supposed to. And that's why you get the love, the more so of the love. And it's crazy because women want you to operate out of the same emotion or the same feeling or the quote unquote same love that she gives you. But it is naturally impossible for a man to do that. Now, I'm not saying he can't love, and I'll describe what love for a man is in a later installment, but it's not as strong, it's not as heavy, it's not as deep as a woman's love, because first of all, our limbic systems are different. And it describes in these books that it's going to be a difference. So I said all that to say this, in referring back to monogamy, the love for a man to a woman may exist, but it's not the same as a woman's love to a man, causing the, and I don't want to say that it's impossible for a woman to cheat, because women cheat too. But those, in my research, those are deeper problems. And I can give you this example. For a man to cheat, he could be totally in love, or he could be totally in want or need of this woman or his main or his queen. But for him to have quote unquote concubines, that doesn't take away the effect of how he feels about her. And I don't think women tend to understand that. I know they don't, because I've had several discussions about this, but I'm just trying to explain to you that a man can go out and cheat and think nothing of it. He can be done and it can have no meaning, whereas a woman can do it too, don't get me wrong, but on a consistent basis, him entering her womb, him entering her vagina, another man enter, she's going to somehow, some way catch feelings. And she may be able to control those for a short period of time or a long period of time. But guess what? If she consistently begins to sleep with this man, she's going to draw feelings for him, because it's only natural for a woman, because it's describing her limbic system. She's more emotional. And we're not just talking about emotions with love. We're talking about emotions with hate. Any emotion that you can fathom. Any emotion. That's why she's more inclined to go deeper into her feelings. She's more inclined to go deeper into explaining and expressing how she feels about a certain event, where a man, for the most part, he's supposed. And let me also clarify this. There are men and unmen, and when I say unmen, I don't want to curse, and because I want this to be good listening material for any age. So I'm going to say unman. I usually say something else, but I'm going to say unman or not man. There you have men and you have people who are not men. Now, in my research and what I've learned, it would behoove you as a man to control your emotions and to operate out of a more logical standpoint and to operate out of a more logical aspect, because that will get you further. Not only will that get you further, but as a man, you're responsible for leading your kingdom. You're responsible for leading your family. And only way to do that, or the best way to do that, is to operate out of pure logic versus operating out of emotion, which a woman operates out of emotion. And as we expressed before, the limbic system tells us that a woman operates out of more emotion, which is perfectly fine, because that's what she built for. But in a man, he is not built for that. So any guy that you may encounter or be around, or call your man or your mate or your spouse, your boo, your husband, or whatever you may, if he's an emotional creature, then he's not being the man that he can be. He's not being the best man he could be. And it's funny, because I talked to a friend of mine, and I want to thank her for bringing this to my attention, which I had in the back of my mind, but I want to bring it out. A lot of women don't know that they have or not men in their life. They think their man is the end all be all. But it's not until they encounter a real man, or encounter a real situation, or get to see the other side of the other side of the hill, if you may, that she understands that, hey, he's not totally the man. And this is what I'm here. I'm not here to knock any man or knock any male. I'm here to build. But in order to build, you have to tear down the old structure. You have to tear down the weak foundation to build something better, because you can't build a beautiful house, because that's what I'm building. I'm going to build a beautiful mansion. You can't build the beautiful house on top of a shaky or weak foundation. So, like I said before, I'm not here to trash or down talk anybody. I'm here to uplift. Unfortunately, the way I uplift is kind of straight to the point and direct, but hopefully for the most part it's effective. And like I said, I'm trying to rebuild and build the man, and for the woman to recognize what she needs in a man and recognize what she needs in her life. And as I was saying, we're talking about monogamy, and we're talking about the actual fact that there's a difference of feelings. There's a difference of relationship. There's a different outlook from a man to a woman versus a woman to a man. And it starts in the brain. And if you didn't know, I want to get specific, and I want to get to the scientific part of it, because if you didn't know, the brain controls everything. Without the brain, there can be no function of the human life. Now, it's crazy, because I was also doing some research, and I was figuring out, well, yeah, I researched for myself and understood that the brain is the most powerful and important part of the body. So I did this little research in my head. I did this research, and I did a little analogy in my head, and I came to find out that you can do a heart transplant. For example, if my heart is bad and someone has a healthy heart, I can transplant his heart or her heart into mine, and I can live longer. I can transplant, I can get lungs, I can get a kidney, I can get all kind of things. But you cannot transplant a brain, because that is your code. That is your specific makeup. That is your specific DNA. That is your specific computer for your specific body. And that lets me know that the brain controls controls the growth of a fingernail, let alone the growth of hair, let alone the functions that you perform on a daily basis. It also controls walking, eating. It controls everything. And that's responsible for the way you behave. So I said all this to say this. In the monogamy standpoint, it is unnatural for a man to feel the same love, to feel the same effects, no matter how much he loves them, no matter how much a woman may be there for him. Only a man who's not who. And I'm not going to get off into that. I'm going to wait until some more installments till we get the foundation or built, because it's going to get real deep. And I hope that you're listening. Now, monogamy. Monogamy is unnatural. And I'm going to give you another example. I was doing some research, and we are mammals and we are animals. You may need to research. I don't know if you understand, believe that, but that's what you need to research to understand what I'm about to go into now. Now, I was doing research and come to find out that the whale and the bird are the only mammals that operate out of a lifetime of monogamy. And it's crazy because, keep in mind, the brain controls everything. In hindsight, reading this lecture or reading this material and researching on the whale and the bird, they have the smallest size brain in proportion to their body. And that's what set us apart from the average animal or mammal, is our brain proportion with our body. But back to what I was saying about the whale and the bird. The bird has the smallest size brain of a mammal. And the whale, he has the same size brain of a human, but he has a bigger body to control, thus making him have a small brain in comparison to his body proportion. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying. So, point that I'm making is this, and keep in mind, hence the phrase bird brain. Birds and whales operate out of a long lifetime of monogamy. So, if that's the bird brain approach to have, I wouldn't want to operate out of a bird's brain, because the bird brain is small. And it's crazy because I've researched more on the bird, and the bird, when he wants to impress a woman, he goes he builds a nest. And depending on the exoticness of the bird, he may get different things. And he's trying to outdo the next bird to get the woman, which is a bird brain approach. But I'll get into that later on what you're really supposed to do and how you're really supposed to, quote unquote, get or have or impress or court a woman. But the bird does this, and it's totally bird brainish. But they operate out of a whole life of monogamy, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing as the higher mammal. We're not supposed to be doing that at all. Well, my time is up. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your ears, and I appreciate your brain. This was another installment, of Natural Kings. You can reach me at Facebook. You can reach me at Twitter at King Gerald Jones. Thank you.